There was once a game developer and producer man named Bardi, but Badar, but Badri, who also made other games like The True, Kitty Cat, Ball Travel Zero Gravity, and Chicken Attacks. And it's an Angry Birds ripoff, because of course it is. And who can forget Laws of Machine? I was actually planning on reviewing Aladdin on the SNES for my first ever game review, because it's one of my favorite video games of all time. But then I went on my Switch and looked through the Nintendo eShop, and I found this. This game has literally no reason being on the Nintendo eShop for any kind of money. I can understand it being on Steam, but the official Nintendo eShop? Really? I first heard about this game while watching Kedekris in his video I spent $115 on the worst PS4 games ever video. But the thing is that he didn't really go into detail about the game, what's good, what's bad, but mostly bad. Just saying these are my opinions after playing this game. So if you have any opinions different from mine, post them down in the comments, and I won't read them. Why am I doing this again? I'm not going to rip into this guy too hard because he has games on both Nintendo Switch and PlayStation, and he obviously has more motivation than I do. He obviously knows what he's doing, you know, to a certain extent. First, let's start off with what's good about this game. Did all of these 3D models himself is very impressive. The main menu starts out giving you all the options that looks a lot like Fallout. And actually my boyfriend Marcus pointed out that the text at the bottom, Robotech, looks like a combination between Robco and Voltec from Fallout. Inspiration, reference, or coincidence? Scientists can't tell. There's a whole menu where you can view all of the 3D models he's made for the game, with some little lore bits, and now I know that the professor made an angry design of the main robot just for fun. Is this guy the villain? I don't know, since I only made it halfway through the game and gave up. Or I wasn't paying attention to the opening cutscene where the angry designed robot breaks out and crushes the professor to death. So if DR13 is supposed to function like DR12, then why is it suddenly evil? Someone had to have programmed that evil robot, right, Professor? And I guess DR12 is watching from some live feed and decided to go save the professor. And one would assume that the professor's own D12 robot that was made to protect him and take care of him, that's supposed to drive cars and take care of infants, is only right down the hall or in the next room. Well, no, because there wouldn't be any game, so naturally, we have to go through 20 levels of puzzles full of robots, lasers, and bombs. This game is run on a 2D plane with 3D graphics, if you couldn't tell. You need to collect batteries to increase your voltmeter to 100. Once you do that, you can teleport to the next level. I was playing on the Nintendo Switch, and every time I pass between the levels, the screen blinks like the system wants to go to the main menu. It's like the Switch itself doesn't even want to play this shit anymore. Speaking of shit, I understand wanting to create a good atmosphere and try to make the music sound as dramatic as possible, like you're on an important mission or something, but why did you make it so loud to the point where you can't hear anything else? The sound effects are so drowned out that you can only hear them when the game changes tracks. In fact, the opening screen music is carried from the title to the 3D model menu, through the opening cutscene, and ends at the beginning of the second level. I tried to look for any kind of options to turn the music down, but it just doesn't exist that I can see. Not in the first start menu, help option. You cannot control the volume at all in this game. You have to click mute on your TV remote to turn off the music completely. Enough about the sound design, and move on to the controls. I think the point of the jumping controls was that they're supposed to be floaty since it's a robot. But what annoyed me most was that there was some delay with the jumping and I kept falling to my death. It might have been just my fault, honestly. But the jetpack parts are the worst. You have to be careful with it, because if you hit the jump button too hard at the wrong time, you go shooting straight up into a bomb and you have to start the level all over again. What made me quit this game completely was at level 10, where this stupid wall of lasers lasers chases you while you have to jetpack through bombs that will make you start again if you even so much touch them with 1 pixel. I had to collect these 2 blue tubes and place them into these containers to move on, but I can only get one since the other one was in with all of these bombs and I couldn't get through them without blowing up the tube forever and having to restart. So naturally, I quit the game forever and wasted $6 of my already unemployed bank account. Since I didn't finish the game, I went to look up the ending because I was curious, and it turns out the game turns from a 2D platformer to temple run with holes that you can barely see because it's so dark. So all in all, this game is bad. I would never even download this again, even for my baby cousin to play. But just because it's a bad game doesn't mean that blood, sweat, and tears didn't go into making it. And I should remind you, those blood, sweat, and tears came from one person. So if does see this, keep doing what you love and mastering your craft. There's a skeleton of something there that you can actually work on and make better if you have the right help. I knew it was bad going into it. Why am I still here? Why are we all still here? Pokémon, the Japanese RPG that's been going since September 1998. 23 years of pixelated legal dogfights. Speaking of pixelated dogfights, Pokémon Battle Revolution, released in 2006 on the Wii with very mixed ratings. 53% on Metacritic. I got Pokemon Diamond in a black DSi for my 7th birthday and played it from when I woke up till I went to sleep. That is, if I slept at all, playing my DS under my covers, hiding from my parents. But it wasn't until 2010, around the same time I got a copy of Heart Gold, that I found Pokemon Battle Revolution at a yard sale with my grandma. When we got home that faithful day, I put the disc in, sat in my grandma's smelly armchair, and was amazed. My Pokemon that I cared for so deeply in 2D form, now on my screen in 3D. This was so cool back in the day, seeing your Pokemon alive on screen. Unlike the new ones where it's literally the entire point of the art style, making this whole game redundant. But it was cool, trust me. This copy of Pokemon Battle Revolution isn't actually the one my grandma had. She sold it without telling me and I never forgave her for that. Grandma. My copy was actually given to me in high school from an old friend just before he moved away. Just saying, these are my opinions after playing this game. So if you have a problem with any of my opinions about this game, post them down in the comments in the longest essay you've ever written in your life, waste your own time, and I won't read them. But anyway, Pixelated Dogfights Revolution. Let's start off by saying the whole point of the game is to transfer your own Pokemon to the game to play with. So if you don't have any of the Gen 4 games before playing this game, or have a cheaper system like the Wii Mini, then this game is completely redundant. You have no other Pokemon to play with besides the rental passes set with 6 Pokemon. But if you do have a Wii Mini and the Gen 4 games, you still can't move Pokemon over anyways since the Wii Mini doesn't have any wireless connectivity. So you're stuck with a Gen 1 starter rental pass or a Gen 4. The game is playable with these passes, but it's way better with your own. This is the first time playing this game in a while, and it is so boring. I almost fell asleep so many times on my Aaron Hansen body pillow while recording this, it's insane. You're just sitting there, pressing a button and making your Pokemon do a thing. Besides the battling that makes you want to pass out on Aaron's soft chest, is the front desk lady, Anna. And Anna has a lot of things to say. Every time you go into a new menu you haven't been to before, even though you just clicked you don't want to hear it, she just keeps blabbling about every little thing. I know this game is centered around battling, but why couldn't they have any kind of story in it? Gale of Darkness came out a year before this and it actually had an enjoyable story in it. And it was on the GameCube. They made this whole island of Poketopia, but you can't explore any of it. It could have still be centered around battling, just put some more personality into it. Just something more besides battle after battle ad nauseum. There is character customization for the battle passes, but again, you have to fight in Coliseum battles to get maybe 200 points to go towards some blue hair in a bag. Thanks, game. With the battle passes, you can change the character's appearance, catchphrases, picture type, and the design of the pass. So I made Chad, and his character is Muscle Man A, and he totally caught a Darkrai legit. No action replay was used here. Chad would never lie to you. For actual awesome bonus points, you can save battle passes to your Wii remote and give them to your friends as friend passes. I did that for Chad and brought him over to my other save file that has 5 hours of gameplay on it because I'm not playing through this whole game for a video. This game is playable, but only if you want to fall asleep faster. The only good thing I can say about this game is that the soundtrack is one of the best I've heard from a Pokemon game. Also, being able to use your own Pokémon on the big screen by 2006 standards, and being able to battle your friends is awesome. But that's about it. This game is cool for collecting dust on a shelf, but not worth playing as of right now. The Gen 4 games are getting a remake on the Switch, and the graphics are better than this game tenfold. Oh god, no. I've played a lot of bad games in my 20 years of life. Crash Bash, or Avatar: The Last Airbender on the GameCube. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to Wreck-It Ralph on the Wii. Disney's 2012 movie Wreck-It Ralph was a great movie. Fun, adventurous, and plays homage to video games we all know and love. Then they made a second movie about the internet only 3 years ago, and it already feels just as dated as the phonograph. But besides that second awful movie, they made an equally as awful video game that takes place in between those two. And as of right now, it's one of the worst video games I have ever played. Even worse than Laws of Machine. Awful graphics, awful controls, I fucking hate the sound effects. The select sound effect they use is annoying, and it's used most in the opening menu. Why Disney? Why did you make this? And why was it released in the state that it's in? I'm pretty sure the only amount of effort that actually went into this game was the opening cutscene that explains the story. Sugar Rush is attacked by Cybugs again, but this time what Calhoun says in the first movie:
once those Cybugs finish off Sugar Rush, they'll invade every other game until this arcade is nothing but a smoking husk of forgotten dreams.
Actually happens. They funnel out into the rest of the arcade. But by the rest of the arcade, I mean only Fix-It Felix, Hero's Duty, and Sugar Rush, because I'm assuming Disney weren't allowed to use the actual games that we see in the movie. If you have any problems with my opinions about this game, you're wrong. This game is just objectively bad, and I was only able to stomach 33 minutes of this game without actually taking a train to Toronto, climbing to the CN Tower, jumping off of it, and saying in my suicide note that it was Disney and Activision's fault. I'd like to make a quick comparison for 1 second. This is what the FMV looks like.
That's the problem with bugs. If you see one, there are a million more hiding in the shadows.
And here's what the actual mission cutscenes look like.
I hate to see my beloved home like this.
Why did they do this? Felix looks like Handy Manny, and Ralph looks like the Glob Glob Gab-Galab guy.
I'm the Glub Glow Gab-Galab.
Who is the artist, and how can I contact them and ask them why they made the two main characters look absolutely terrible? I would have been fine with them using PNGs of the characters instead of the shitty awful 3D models. This is a really bad, slippery, side-scrolling platformer where you switch between Ralph and Felix to complete platforming puzzles and collect coins that I have no idea what to do with because I don't care enough. No amount of hitting this with Fix-It Felix hammer will make this game worth playing. Thankfully, I borrowed this game and I didn't actually spend any of my hard-earned cash on it. And if you did, you might want to reevaluate your life decisions. And if you have a copy of this game, I highly advise you to destroy it in any way you can. So Christmas is soon. It's like 316 days away, so obviously it's the best time to make a video about a Christmas game. On December 6, 1964, a snowman called Sam told the story of a little reindeer named Rudolph. If you want to watch the movie, right now it's on YouTube for free, and if you're one of those people who haven't seen this movie, it's only been out for 58 years now, this movie won't even prepare you for this. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the Wii. I beat it in 11 minutes. Now that's not a joke. I beat this game entirely in 11 minutes. Go down to the description and you will see the gameplay footage I recorded for this video, and you will see 11 minutes of recorded gameplay for this. I really don't understand this movie tie-in for this 1964 Christmas claymation film about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And when did this game come out? 2010. Here are some other games that came out in 2010. Alongside this movie was out for 46 years before this came out, and is it good? Absolutely not. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer time. But you're gonna see me actually playing this and seeing how I do it. I mean, they have 3D models of the characters already. Why didn't they, like, just reuse this in the menu? And how many mini games are there? 4. 4 mini games. And again, 11 minutes long. Holiday Helper is up first, and Sam the Snowman, who's voiced by someone who's never seen the movie before.
Santa needs your help decorating his tree and filling his bag of...
I call it Christmas Town, better known as the North Pole.
Despite how short it is, this game feels like it's going on forever. You have to hit ornaments and lights onto the tree, and hit misfit toys into the sack. The game controls are fine. You move left and right with motion controls and press 2 to jump. But hitting the objects is the problem here. If you hit it in just the right spot, the thing you're hitting isn't even hit, or it goes the completely wrong way. Oh my god. I've played this so I kind of know the controls, but it's... I still hate it. I still hate it so much. I have to Mario Kart him around. But I have to say, for a 2010 shovelware game about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the models aren't that bad. Pretty good, in fact. But why did they have to use them in a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game? It could have just as well been a generic Christmas game. Next up, Toy Maker. You throw paint at toys that go by on conveyor belts. It's auto lock on, so you'll get points no matter how you swing the controller. Okay, so now you use the regular remote like this. So since the red light is light up, it's auto lock on. It's absolutely, this game has no point to it, besides just me moving my hand around. Cookie cooking is next. Cookie cooking. Cookie cooking. There are so many movements with this controller, my arms hurt. What's next? You alternate between doing this, and then doing this, and then doing this. And the last game is Saving Christmas. You pick between a male and female elf to play as, and this game is just throwing toys at houses. It doesn't matter if you get it on the roof of the house or in the chimney. And even if you miss, there's no discipline. And after delivering all the toys to the 5 houses in the entire world, you win and you're booted back to the title screen.
Santa and the elves are already planning for next year.
I know. I saved Christmas, no need to thank me.
They will go down in history.
I spent $5 on this game. Well, that was fun. A game about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a cute one, but only filling it with 4 minigames that takes 11 minutes to play puts it in the shitty shovelware category that no one should even buy or even think about. But people did buy this game, so naturally, they released Santa Claus is Coming to Town the next year. If they got the rights to the movie to make this game, I'm surprised they didn't use original clips from the movie considering the total lack of originality. Oh, that's right, they put all the effort into Rudolph's ass. Oh, hello. I was just reading my Aladdin novel while having the Aladdin movie on behind me, surrounded by my Aladdin collection while wearing my Princess Jasmine tiara. And if you have a problem with that, you can leave. I'm gonna be wearing this throughout the entire video. I'm looking at myself in the camera. I understand that Aladdin is a racial stereotype movie. It was made in 1992, so there's gonna be a lot of that. But it is a Disney classic, and it is my favorite Disney movie of all time. Hence, the entire shrine I have dedicated to it. And then, a year after the movie's release, we got this, Aladdin on SNES. This game has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I played this so much at my grandparents' cottage, and when they sold it, they let us keep some things, and obviously, I took the SNES and the games. As I said, Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie. In fact, I have a huge collection of stuff, including the original cartridge, and since my SNES won't work with my Elgato, I played the re-release on the Switch. The original sold 1.8 million copies worldwide, and it was Capcom's second most popular game under Street Fighter II.
is a 2D platformer similar to Super Mario World at the time. But unlike Super Mario World, this game uses passwords, and playing on the original system is challenging. The playthrough I did for this recording was the first time I beat the game by myself in my entire life, and it's mostly because of the save states on the Switch version. I paused, then load the game from the last place I saved. And if you think that's cheating, you obviously haven't played the original game yet. Stage 1 and 2 I think are wonderfully easy, but Stage 3 is where things start to get difficult. When I was younger, I always would just give up when I got to the Magic Carpet Escape level. I could have just put in the password for the next level, but my grandma's cottage didn't have the internet to search for them, and I was 6, so yeah, that wasn't happening. In this level, you have to make sure you don't touch a pixel of the cave walls or falling boulders, or you die instantly. But now that I'm older and not a stupid kindergartner idiot, I finally beat it. I just scan the cave walls with my eyes, making sure Aladdin doesn't touch a single speck of brown. My favorite level in the whole game is the Whole New World stage. You fly around Agrabah at night, no enemies, no obstacles, nothing. Just collect gems and have a relaxing time before the game throws you into the last bit, already facing Jafar. This is the first time I've ever gotten to Jafar in this game, so it was very difficult for me to pass this one boss battle. Yeah. There's 2 rounds for Jafar. The second part is facing snake form Jafar. His hitbox is right on top of his head and he's very tall. Hitting anything besides the very top of his head in either human form or snake form, you will take damage and you will die a lot. Expect to see the game over screen when you play this game without save states. This game is so well made for a movie tie-in. The animations are amazing, especially for 1993. I also want to talk about the Disney Classics collection I used for the recording of this game. Disney Classic Games collection is absolutely worth the money, especially if you're a huge Disney fan. Like there's Aladdin for SNES, for Sega Genesis, for Game Boy Color, and The Lion King and The Jungle Book also get that treatment. Then there's the museum with all the official art from the games and from the movies. My favorite is the Capcom promotional video. It was a tape sent to Capcom Craze Club members, and it was basically an ad for the game wrapped in an exciting, "You're the first one in history to witness something" wrapper.
You have been specially selected from among thousands of players to receive some inside information on the hottest video game of the holiday season. Capcom has brought a blockbuster movie to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Disney's Aladdin.
The attitude of the video is like trying to make you happy that you joined a club and got an ad in return. But I love watching the video because it is so 90s. I was smiling the entire time I was watching it. But to end this video, I absolutely love this game and I recommend you guys getting a copy no matter where you can. Yeah, I don't have an outro. See you guys later. Bye. Okay, look, I don't just want to review bad games, okay? Granted, like 4 out of the 5 videos I've uploaded already were about bad or mediocre games. But what I wanted to do with my channel was to bring light to games that aren't exactly well known. Games like maybe Brutal Legend, Bakugan, or even Lego Racers. But then there's Dongo's Adventure. Released on July 9th on the Nintendo Switch for some reason, Dongo Adventure is a 3D platformer according to Nintendo's page, and I have to disagree with that one. A 3D platformer to me is either like Super Mario Galaxy or even Bubsy 3D, and Bubsy 3D is way better than this game. It sort of reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph and how its 2D platforming was with 3D models on a 2D plane, and that it's bad. The main character named Dongo, who is a mouse, obviously, clips on walls and falls through various scenarios like a sewer, a house, a lake, a factory, and faces several bullshit enemies that are totally dangerous to a real field mouse. Yeah, sure, toxic gases and electrical wires could kill a mouse, but mice literally eat insects like cockroaches and spiders, and will even eat frogs if they have to. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Dongo carries a backpack equipped with cheese that he uses to throw and defend himself from said awful enemies. And he can push objects that can help him pass through obstacles and solve platforming puzzles. Yeah, objects that can also be pushed by the enemies, making you fuck up all the time. Oh, and the final goal will be a surprise? A surprise. The final boss is a cat that you have to literally electrocute to death. I, of course, haven't finished the game, because why would I? It took me almost 20 minutes to beat the first level, and the second level was even worse. It's full of out-of-nowhere obstacles and leaps of faith that make me want to scream. The rest of the enemies are alright, I guess, but the crickets are just annoying. As I've said, you clip on every wall and can even jump on invisible walls. Here's a montage of every time I've clipped on something. But sometimes you can use the clipping to your advantage by letting you float in midair on invisible platforms to help you cheat. And the cheese as a projectile is just god-awful sometimes. It doesn't even launch until a second after you press the button, and 9 times out of 10, the cheese just completely misses and goes over their heads. And there's a part in the first level where you have to ride a bottle in the shit sewer water, and you have to jump over these rings. But you have to be careful not to clip into them, making you unable to jump again, killing you and sending you back to your last checkpoint. A platform about a mouse is cute, whatevs. But when it's this broken, it should not be allowed on the Nintendo eShop. Just like Law's Machine, now that I think about it, is way better than Dongo, is another bad game on the eShop. How easy is it just to upload a game onto the Nintendo eShop? Like, seriously. So it's that easy. There are so many LEGO games. I'm pretty sure 90% of the games Traveler's Tales makes are only LEGO games. The other 10% are games like Bug's Life or Sonic 3D Blast. LEGO games are everywhere, and everyone has played a LEGO game at some point in their life. As for me, I have about 14 LEGO games, and I just wanted to talk about some of them. I'm only going to talk about 3 of the many LEGO games that I currently own in this video. Again, this is my opinion. It's no way at all to be a hate campaign towards your favorite LEGO game. This has to be one of the most ambitious LEGO games ever made. It's a Toys to Life game where you buy special LEGO figures with plates that contain chips to be able to play with said character in-game, using this portal that reacts with the chip. Most of the characters in this game didn't even have a LEGO set out at the time. These were unique LEGO figures. Figures from franchises like E.T., Sonic the Hedgehog, Wizard of Oz, Doctor Who, and even Scooby-Doo. You play as Wildstyle, Gandalf, and Batman, who go around the LEGO multiverse to stop the villain Lord Vortex from destroying and combining every LEGO universe together after collecting things called the Foundation Elements. The game's story is really good, and the crossovers will make any nerd squeal in delight. My favorite part is when the Doctor comes in, and yes, I do count Batman getting his ego completely destroyed in the TARDIS as Doctor Who canon, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Also, fighting Sauron on top of a Dalek ship above a metropolis, fighting General Zod while the Ghostbusters catch ghosts in the background, or even fighting the Riddler in Middle-earth while he's on the back of a Balrog. All 31 franchises in this game have huge open worlds, but since it's a Toys to Life game, you can only unlock those worlds if you have a character from said franchise. This makes LEGO Dimensions the most expensive LEGO game to date. Sure, you can pay in-game currency to play with certain characters to complete puzzles, but only for a limited time. Damn it, I want to play as Shell for the entire game, not just 120 seconds. Even people who didn't own the game were buying these fun packs because where else are you gonna get a licensed figure of Sonic the Hedgehog? The bugs in this game have been patched many times over, but at times it can get really laggy and it freezes when you accidentally switch figures too fast. It might be because I'm playing on the Wii U version, but the PS3 version, it was no better. I barely got to the first encounter with the Wicked Witch of the West before my PS3 completely crashed. If you can look past the glitches and spend your entire paycheck on a LEGO Beetlejuice with a sandworm, it's a pretty amazing experience. The voice cast in this game is amazing as well, bringing back actors that played those characters like Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, Ellen McLean as GLaDOS.
Are you cooked yet? Ain't nothing for yes or arg. The pain, why won't the pain stop? Or no?
Elizabeth Banks back as Wildstyle, Christopher Lloyd back as Doc Brown, and Howie Mandel as Gizmo? Oh. I currently have characters like the starter ones, Gandalf, Batman, and Wildstyle, then expanded with Benny and his spaceship, a Dalek and a Cyberman, the Wicked Witch of the West with a flying monkey, and Master Wu with a dragon. All are really cool figures, but my favorite one has to be the Wicked Witch of the West. My favorite because she's useful. I've flown over entire levels just so I can skip the puzzles. The puzzles are fine in most LEGO games and sometimes really fun to solve, but a lot are repeated and tedious in dimensions. The puzzles are usually completed with the USB portal. You have to constantly move the characters around to complete these color-coded puzzles, and I hate them. You have to match the colors where the characters are on the portal, but most of the time you have to mix the colors together, and sometimes I can't even tell what color I'm looking at because it's too dark. The other puzzles are fine, but most of the time they're just annoying and boring. Don't get me wrong, this game is amazing, but most of the levels like Ghostbusters are just put in to extend the playtime. Don't get me wrong, LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens is wicked fun to play. If it wasn't for the glaring issues I have with this title, I would say it's one of Traveler's Tales' best. I really liked the new first-person shooting, the dogfights were really satisfying, the story was very well paced. They actually use voice clips from the movie with some new ones added in. It really is a pick up and play game. It's fun, it has good humor, and the mechanics and puzzles aren't too hard to understand, so even kids can easily pick it up. But as I said, it's a fun game to play, although it is now sitting abandoned on your game shelf since the Skywalker Saga has already beaten it tenfold. But LEGO Force Awakens does something right that the Skywalker Saga does wrong. Actually having custom characters. Even though you do start on Endor as a prologue, it's really only based on one film. I'm pretty sure that film started a series that a lot of people hate. I believe this was made as a prototype for the Skywalker Saga, mostly because The Force Awakens is in the Skywalker Saga, and most of the gameplay and assets are just going to be copied and pasted to the Skywalker Saga anyway. I would not recommend buying this game now or ever unless it's to fill some sort of LEGO game collection. It's not worth spending your money on a game about one Star Wars movie when you can spend that money on all 9. But overall, I liked the game more than I didn't. I just wanted to point out some overbearing issues that I have with the game, and I thankfully was given a copy, so I didn't spend my money on it. This is one of my favorite LEGO games that I currently own, mostly because of the main character is you. You start the game by making your own character who has the ability to gain superpowers. And at the end, you choose to be a villain or a hero. The customization is the main selling point for me in the end. Every LEGO figure part in this game, being preset or generic blank ones, can be colored in so many different ways. My partner made a character named Lord Wimpleton. He has blue skin, a handlebar mustache, robot legs and arms, a top hat, and a sausage as a weapon that he can cast electricity out of like a wand. And after creating him, Lex Luthor roasts you and you're thrown into a gang of DC's worst supervillains who, after the Justice League disappear, take on the role as Earth's protectors and must defeat a rival group of supervillains from Earth 3 who are exact replicas of the Justice League, who are also pretending to be the Justice League while searching for a powerful item called the Anti-Life Equation for their master Darkseid. DC games have always been great, but this one takes first place. The hub world is really open with you being able to explore Gotham, Metropolis, and even Smallville between missions with any character. Even the custom characters, and again, when I say the customizer is amazing, I mean I was able to make the mask and even Hancock with it.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking...
This is the side of DC that I love. The world in this game makes the DC universe actually look like a DC comic book. Metropolis is bright, colorful, and sunny since that's where Superman is and he needs sunlight to survive like a goddamn plant. And Gotham is dark, depressing, always raining. That's because it's basically a Batman comic world. I had so much fun playing this, and I have to say, it's better than any of the DC movies that have come out recently. Zack Snyder has nothing on Steven Sharples and Andrew Holt. It does such a better job opening up the DC universe than the movies have ever done. But just because it's a great game doesn't mean there's not a lot of bull, like with some of the levels. It always felt like we're either breaking out of places or breaking into places. Mostly prisons, level after level after level in gray hallways, collecting studs and beating up bad guys. Or good guys, depending on which side of the police you're on. And also, glitches. The game freezing and create a character or double of your character in one of the final cutscenes. But overall, this has to be one of the best LEGO games on the market, so it's an A+ game from me. By the way, I made Lord Wimpleton a villain in the end, just if you were wondering. And that was only 3 out of at least 14 LEGO games I currently own, and I need a break from LEGO games for a while.
The sci-fi television series Star Trek, originally created by Gene Roddenberry, has been going since 1966 and is still going strong today with series like Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds. My favorite series being Voyager, actually. And obviously there's a lot of other series, but there's also books like The Return by William Shatner. The Borg and Romulan Empire have joined forces against the Federation, and their ultimate weapon is none other than James T. Kirk, resurrected by alien science to destroy the Borg's most formidable enemy, Jean-Luc Picard. Just because you were James T. Kirk doesn't mean you can write him. Or what about the Star Trek and Planet of the Apes crossover comic book? And of course there's a lot of movies, but also video games. But I think I need to get into something more comfortable. Why this uniform? The first one out of the two I'm gonna look at is Star Trek The Next Generation on the Sega Genesis. As for the cover, I don't have it. I only have the cartridge to focus on. And I love how the main characters' disembodied heads are all floating in space there around the ship. Sort of reminds me of that episode with Abraham Lincoln.
Mr. Scott.
What a charming.
I'm also using footage from Jag of Troy on YouTube. The link will be down in the description below for the full 3 hours I used for this video. It starts off pretty well with the Sega logo transporting in, with the classic sound effects. The title screen and intro cinematic is a really nice recreation. I have no problems with it. Until this mirrored face Picard pops up and I'm not sure if I want to play the rest of this game now. So apparently some Romulans went over the neutral zone and went missing, and that's just a big no-no in Starfleet's eyes. Starfleet wanted to help look for the missing Romulans, but the other Romulans were like, no, we're gonna do it ourselves, and Starfleet was like, no you're not. So Starfleet orders the Enterprise to the neutral zone, cutting the crew's shore leave short. After staring at Picard's copied half face, we go out on the bridge where we get a distress signal from a very angry looking Vulcan named Talaris. Well, I guess that is just what Vulcans look like anyway, so never mind. She's an archaeologist of the Federation working on the ruins of Codus Nu V. Yeah, so it turns out I read that wrong. It's actually number 6 on the end of that. So I read that as Codus Nu V. No, it's actually Codus Nu 6. So I'm essentially an idiot. She just detected a Romulan ship and needs help. Then we go on the actual computers of the Enterprise and set course for the actual planet or system we need to go to for the next mission. You can fight in top-down asteroid-style space battles. There's even a 360 view of the bridge with pixelated versions of all your favorite characters' faces. And the cartridge itself actually has a save battery, so if you're away from your game for a while, you can easily come back to where you were. You can go into Picard's ready room and get updates on what to do next. And for 1994, that is huge because most games like this required a lot of passwords. Then when you get to your destination, you head into the transporter room and set up your own away team with some bridge crew and some throwaway red shirts to die so no important people do. And when we beam down to the surface, we go all out, gunslinging on these damn Romulan fools. You know, the true Starfleet way. Murder. You know, since I can't actually play the game because I don't have a Sega Genesis, I can't really comment on how the game controls and all of that. I can just joke about what I see. So let's look at the Jag of Troy footage that I mentioned earlier and let's see what happens at the end. There. There we go. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Well, that was weird. Glad that's over. Must be ready. Oh! Thanks, Trivy. Oh my gosh, you found my other game. Oh my goodness, wow. Trivy, oh Trivy of Borg.
We are the Borg. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our...
And then in 2009, the first of the alternate universe Star Trek movies was released, directed by J.J. Abrams and starring Chris Pine as the horny Starfleet Captain Kirk. Then they made two sequels, Into Darkness in 2013 with Benedict Cumberbatch as a whitewashed Khan, with the weirdest looking Klingons I have ever seen, and Star Trek Beyond that nobody has even seen, so. So obviously, a movie only liked by people who never seen Star Trek before was made into a video game. Developed by Digital Extremes and Namco Bandai in 2013 for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, this game is a dumpster fire. A dumpster fire that's basically a very stretched out bad Star Trek episode. First, let's talk about the cover because I'm confused. If I were to go down to my local Walmart looking for a cool video game to buy and I see this cover, I'm putting it back and would rather buy Peppa Pig on PS4 because at least Peppa Pig knows how to market to their audience. The front cover is completely black and white for some reason, making it look just as bland as a Popeye's biscuit, making it look nothing like Star Trek, a critique I also have for the movie's cover. If you didn't see Spock's ears or the Starfleet logo, then it would look just like some generic sci-fi video game. I've always hated the updated spacesuits, now with the added addition of badly photoshopped heads. I would have liked to see the actual Starfleet uniforms on the front cover, but nope, we get this shit. And for the back, I have no idea what's going on because I can't read any of it. Nothing is in English. Well, besides the StarTrek.com link, I wonder what's on there. It's all in Spanish, and since I'm Canadian who lives in the pure cold, I never learned Spanish. Like, why is there no English telling me what's going on? Let's use my own universal translator. Google. A legendary team. Kirk and Spock unleash the power of technology of the 23rd century in a battle against the relentless Gorn invasion. And yeah, that's really about it. I don't know why they couldn't just add an English translation for this game since the rest of the game has English speaking characters.
What's going on down there?
The radiation from those binary stars is making communications difficult.
With fewer than 10,000 Vulcans remaining, I question the logic of placing them on any type of experimental power station.
Scotty, get us out of here!
Also, the inside cover has a controller guide that also doesn't have any English, so let's hope there's a tutorial because their own guide is useless to me. The game boots up and... hello? Is my volume on? What's going on? Oh, okay. So the logos just don't have any audio at all. Even the epic looking Digital Extremes logo that would have some sort of heavy metal music behind it is completely silent. The title screen actually looks decent, the character models are good, the music is awesome and sounds futuristic with all the beeps and boops on the bridge. There's very little lens flare, so it's better than the new movies already. You can choose between the horny Captain Kirk or the boring ass Vulcan. Obviously I went with Kirk. I mean, how can you not with that smolder and those bright blue eyes?
Their numbers are overwhelming. Surrender may be our only option. No!
The game starts in this snot green cave where it actually gives me a tutorial on how to fire my phaser. How about that? Then a grenade is thrown at us and we're teleported to another cave somehow. Star Trek has grenades? What? And, whoa, wait, what's going on? Why are they fighting?
It is your move, Captain.
I'm aware of that, Mr. Spock.
And now we're playing three-dimensional chess. Is that what boomers played before holodecks?
How in the hell does that even work?
And I have to admit, the design of the ship is actually pretty cool. It has nice depth perception outside the windows that makes the planet actually look far away. I also thought it was cool that you can actually see the writing on the front of the ship. And you can also hear other crew members' conversations just going about their daily work life.
Did you try reversing the phase oscillation?
That's the first thing I tried.
I'm stumped.
We don't have to go warp speed, thank you very much.
It sort of makes the ship feel more lively in a way. I mean, I say the officers are working, but I don't know what he's working on. What are you tapping on? That is a white cube with no screen. And now we're off to save the crew of this Vulcan space station. And we're successful, after enduring the station falling apart around us and solar flares wanting to melt our faces off. Oh. No, of course not. The only one that survived was the one with plot armor. A Vulcan named Tamar, who was the captain of all of those Vulcans who died, even though Vulcan is an endangered species because their home did this.
What's going on down there, Captain?
Scotty, Binary Suns are pulling this station apart. What memo did you not get today? Did you forget what mission you're on? Now, on to the next mission. We get in the turbo lift and... we see Spock demonstrate a new Vulcan ability, teleporting without the use of a transporter. I mean, I thought Vulcans only had this many abilities, but I guess teleportation counts too. And now we head to a planet called New Vulcan, stereotypical rocky desert planet that's in every series. But obviously something has taken over this new settlement of Vulcans, and we have to figure out what caused the station to shut down in the first place. So we pass through hallways of infected Vulcan who are horrifyingly aware of what's going on and begging you to run away from them because they promise you they will hurt you.
Run away! It is forcing me to do this! I
do not want to do this!
And the Gorn. And if you're looking forward to the slow-moving humanoid-looking Gorn from the original series, well, prepare to be disappointed. Okay, here's the Gorn, I think. God. It looks like shit. Like, come on, the Klingons in this universe look like this. What were you expecting the Gorn to look like? They're literally just raptors with guns and starships. Is this what you were expecting? The first Gorn boss battle was actually pretty challenging. He's fast and hits like a truck, and I died many times. After what felt like an hour of dying over and over again, I finally figured out the best way to take him down. Just keep dodging out of the way of his charging attacks until he starts throwing these power cells. It gives you good time to heal your companion and yourself if need be. And once that's done, shoot him and the power cells to blow them up in a scaly, unfinished face. Scotty keeps trying to beam us out, but he can't because there's too much interference.
There's too much interference, I can't get a lock on you.
And I quit at this point because I had to send an airstrike with a tricorder, but every time I press the goddamn button in the corner there, where it says I'm supposed to press, it just won't work. And this is the first game I've ever broken a controller because of.
Well do, sir.
I mean, it is a pretty poor licensed game that tries to bring you into the universe that a lot of people love, including myself, but it just doesn't cut it. Star Trek Online is a free game on PC and now on consoles, and it does a way better job than this game ever could. Okay, well, I'm ready to go back in my regular clothes now because I hate this uniform. Spooky Stephen King books. Ooh. Gotta rip off the tags. Why is this ugly thing gotta be in the front? There we go. This isn't supposed to be a Halloween video, I just wanted to dress up and decorate. TikTok is a very strange place. Usually used for cosplay, expressing your weird political opinions, or just plain dancing at the camera. But what TikTok is very much used for is advertising really bad app games. Paid advertisers. These are ads that people, I assume, pay TikTok to play their ads every other video. It has a direct link to websites or the App Store and usually plays a trailer or something like this. So when I see a masterpiece like this, I just have to download it. This is X Hero, and these ads are everywhere. If you're a regular on TikTok, like most of us are... Yes, I know, it's terrible. We know how bad TikTok is. We're very self-aware. But at least every 10 videos you get an ad for this specific game. And whoever plays the game for these ad videos, they're always terrible at it. So if you're expecting a game about drawing shapes around a dog to protect it from killer bees, don't worry, the dog is here, but I'm really confused on why there's a sentinel nuking something in the background. Oh, what's that doing there? I'm just gonna keep going because I'm sure that's just a pop-up ad. That's usually what happens with apps like this. And here we go, just as advertised. Drawing shapes around dogs to protect them from killer bees. Easy, to the point, exactly as advertised. Okay, what the hell is happening here? Yes, They hid a superhero card game League of Legends knockoff in a different game to get people to download it. I know a lot of people are into games like this, and that's not a bad thing. There's an audience for collectible card game apps like this, so why do you have to hide it in a shitty drawing game about bees killing a dog? Even the dog game is fine. It's playable, it's cute, whatever. Would I download it again? No. And the card game is just watching heroes like Magnetic Storm, War Bear, and Icy Lady shooting missiles at cats with handguns. Both games have nothing to do with each other, so why don't they just release the two games separately? That way they could maybe make more sales and get more money. I have also come to find out that most people that downloaded this weren't too happy about the clear false advertising, since some that downloaded it thinking it was a dog game for kids, but it ended up with boobs instead. And the developer responses are very copy and paste. That seemed to work. Influencers! These games are also paid advertisements, but with the added bonus of influencer testimonials, or just straight up actors playing a stereotypical looking Twitch streamer to make it look legit.
Do you know you can recruit more units and collect more rewards by merging the chests?
Like these two chaps for Top War.
What is the best game you've got on your phone right now?
So the best game I have on my phone right now, it's this game where you have to merge your soldiers together and make super strong people that can defeat the enemy.
What about it?
I don't blame them for anything in this video, since I don't know if they wrote the actual script or not, but they're just straight up lying.
Well, it's this game called Top War. It's one of the best games out right now. It won Google's Best Game Award of 2020. Here, let me show you how good it is.
It is not Google Play's best game of 2020. I know it's not, because I did one Google search and that award went to Genshin Impact. Top War isn't even the best in that genre in the strategy game section, with it at number 20, and Plants vs. Zombies still at number 1 since 2007 probably. And again, I'm sure these are high school students, so I don't blame them for wanting to get an extra couple bucks for fries in the cafeteria, so I don't blame them at all. But most of the actors in these ads are the worst parts. I'm sure they're given a script to say the most with the least amount of substance, since they say little to almost nothing about how the game actually plays, with the most vague words that tell me nothing.
Have you ever seen an ad online for a game, but then when you download that game, it looks nothing like the ad? Well, this is Top War, and it plays exactly like this.
Again, false advertising. The gameplay actually looks like this.
Have you ever seen an ad online for a game, but then when you download that game, it looks nothing like the ad?
But just like with X-Hero, you just watch the gameplay happen.
In this game, merging is key, as you need the strongest soldiers to take out your enemy. This game has tons of strategy behind it, so you're gonna want to have the best plays to ensure victory for your team. And just like that, we beat them at their own game. Download Top War today.
Now that he explained how the game works and you still have absolutely no idea what's going on, I'll explain it for you. You start the game with 5 regular blue soldiers. As you progress through the map by unlocking various bases and committing genocide along the way, you gain more soldiers and add to your squad. Then you merge the same color soldiers together to create stronger level units. Blue at level 1, orange at level 2, green at level 3. The merging he's talking about looks more like changing one PNG to another, and the battles are split screen, and again, you don't do anything in the battles. At least with Pokemon Go, you actually have to touch the screen to make things happen. The game is fine enough, there's not much strategy besides adding and subtracting and interacting with copyrighted characters like Black Widow. Oh, you don't think she's straight up copied? Let's have a look at her character description. Her real name being Natasha.
Warning. Lawsuit incoming. Look at drone with me and stare at the sky.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Look at drone with me and stare at the sky.
Oh. Okay, I totally agree.
Ooh, yourself. Yeah.
Reddit storytime videos. If you're on TikTok, you know what these are.
Am I the jerk for refusing to financially help my family after they abandoned me?
The voices I hear most often in these videos are from 2 Hot Takes and I Love Lola on TikTok. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about these people whatsoever, they're the innocent ones in this situation. Their content is mostly reading Reddit stories in a podcast format. They actually put effort into their videos, but people just have to steal their voices for their own uses by putting gameplay footage in the background, like Hair Challenge. Well, is it actually any good? You hold and swipe the screen left to right and collect wigs to grow your hair really fast. The longer your hair, the higher the score. Make sure you don't get your Rapunzel hair cut in the giant saws in the floor. So, no, it wasn't good. Next is Candle Gift, and this is the most tame out of the lot. You hold and swipe the screen to roll candles left to right to make them bigger and sparklier at the end. The better the candle, the more it sells for, but make sure you don't hit the giant saws in the floor. Wait a second. Next is Nail Stack. You hold and swipe the screen left to right to grow your fingernail to decorate it with polish and gems. The longer the nail, the higher the score, all with giant saw blades in the ground again. Well, I think I'm starting to see a pattern.
Am I the a-hole? Used a dating app to boost my self-esteem.
And lastly is Gem Stack, where you hold and swipe the screen to move left and right to break rocks to grind them into gems. The more gems means more money for this man. This one actually has effort in it since it has an actual walking character model, but it's not enough to save it from the doom pits of hell. And all of these games were developed by Rolik Games and ByTyper. I couldn't find anything on ByTyper because their website looks like this and nothing else. But Rolik Games says on their LinkedIn that they strive to produce massive scaling global titles. Oh, that's nice. But if these are your global titles you're so proud of, then why do you just copy and paste them with different skins? So I think I'm gonna stop downloading sketchy apps from TikTok before I get doxxed. So what did we learn today, kids?
Describe America in 3 words.
Awesome, great, Trump.
Guns, freedom, and... Describe America in 3 words.
Beautiful, like in the shape of like this, and like, really fun.
Yes!
Don't download TikTok. Dear Santa, I would really like a copy of Pokemon Violet, please. Thank you so much. From Alex.
My parents are both liars. I got gifts, but 1 subscriber.
Wait, what the hell is that? What the fuck is this? Dear Alex, after sending me 10 letters asking for the same thing, you're getting nothing besides that. Never write here again, you 22-year-old man-child. Love, Santa. P.S. Stop drinking Monsters. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. Okay, what the fuck? So Pokemon Gen 9 is out, but at what cost? I actually went to the midnight release for this game, and I met a couple cool people, including this Twitch streamer named Tay.
You can just call me Tay. I'm a variety streamer, Pokemon lover. Riolu is my favorite Pokemon, as well as Eevee.
I played multiplayer with her on stream a couple times, and we actually had a Riolu meetup one time. And I accidentally cheated while in our first battle, live on stream.
All right, how do I do the, what do you call it? How do I transform my Pokemon? I don't think I can do it yet. Oh, that's not fair. You challenged me to a battle and I can't even do the form thing yet? Wait, why'd you get to the battle? I cheated, I'm sorry. I was like, you want to battle me when I can't even do that thing yet? And it's like, that thing, well, it wiped out my entire team. That was a good battle, though. You got those type matchups like you don't believe. I feel like shit now!
Yeah, that's a bit embarrassing. So about 2 months before these games actually came out, I wanted to go back and revisit some of the older games. You know, X and Y, Emerald, maybe Pearl, or even Moon. I've been trying and failing at Pokemon Shield for a Nuzlocke video, and since I suck at Pokemon, I'm just gonna accept that it's never gonna happen.
Under my tree, I think that my Christmas has died.
Most of this first beginning part will probably be skipped, but I do want to show something that is upstairs because I think it is hilarious. So if we go upstairs into, this is Leon's room, okay? The top shelves are filled with books that seem to be hard to understand. Only adults read those types of books. Leon is so busy that he hardly comes home. But I would like to keep his room clean and tidy. She does know about it. Okay. Good job, Grandma. Good job for keeping it a secret. Oh, I'm so tired of this. This is the last time I will ever replay Sword and Shield. Honestly, Pussycat Dolls are way better background music than most of the music in this game. Hop, what are you doing? And I think you all know what number I'm gonna put down. And now I hate looking at them on my Switch menu, so I wanted to go back and remember the simpler times. You know, the games that make you feel like a kid again, you know, without any taxes or jobs or depression caused by existential dread. And then come back and see what Pokemon is nowadays. You know, the cause of the existential dread. This is in no way a comparison video, I just wanted to go back and revisit Gen 1 in celebration of Gen 9's release. Oh, the 90s.
This is our huge TV that is on loan.
The age of dial-up internet, Cheers, pagers, and the vanilla ice cream man.
Damn, what the hell's wrong with you?
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yep, she likes me.
And the release of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. A very famous grandfather to every Pokemon game since, and I know he's disappointed with his grandchildren, and I don't think he's putting Scarlet and Violet in the will.
I'm about to say it.
The games in Generation 1 are a great time, but they are not the best Pokemon games in any sense of the word. I'm sure the moment I said that, most Gen 1 fans are raging down in the comments right now wanting to start another Gen war. Gen 1ers? More like Gen whiners. The Gen 1 games are still playable even today, and you have the right to play these games and none of the newer ones, and sometimes that can be a good thing. But proclaiming that Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow are the end-all be-all of Pokemon games is just a flat-out lie. They were amazing for the time when they came out in 1996, when all anyone wanted to do was watch Titanic over and over again. But honestly, nowadays, they're really just okay. But I still love the game more than I don't. It's just one of the most basic RPGs on the market. I've never heard a good reason why these games are the best in the series. I just want to know specifics. It's always either because of nostalgia or because it started the whole series, and those aren't the best reasons to me. I did my replay on my 3DS port so I can move my Pokemon onto my Switch and use them in Scarlet and Violet later, but I do have a working save battery cartridge, so there's that. Why do they always draw Charizard with stubby little arms? I need to say it louder for the people in the back. I liked the game more than I didn't. It's actually a breath of fresh air actually playing this after trying and failing at a Nuzlocke and starting to hate Hop's stupid face. First of all, coming from somebody who's had Gen 1 as their first Pokemon experience, the Pokemon designs are really lazy. One of the laziest. I feel like even till today with some of the new games, the Pokemon Company's design team just pick random things out of a hat. I can work with this. Seal is just a seal. They barely changed the name. Geodude is just a literal floating rock with a face and arms. Krabby is just a crab. And don't even get me started on Voltorb. It's just a Pokeball with a face that evolves and just turns upside down, with an even bigger face and a bigger mouth. And yes, I know Gen 5's Pokemon aren't any better, but I'm not talking about them, am I? And what about the sprites? Also, Team Rocket. They are a very iconic evil team in the series, and Giovanni as a Blast Gym leader is a very great plot twist. But the rest of Team Rocket in this game are really just there. Team Rocket and Gen 2 are literally abusing Slowpoke. And yeah, Gen 1 they killed one Pokemon, but in Gen 2 a whole generation of Slowpoke had their tails cut off for profit. The evil teams in all Pokemon games are just there to extend the game as a sort of subplot on top of you collecting 8 gym badges. I'd rather just a Pokemon game with just the gym badges and nothing else after that. I'd really like that, thank you. Team Skull, Team Flare, Team Cypher. I hate all of them, and nobody plays the Pokemon games for the story anyway. I hate having to beat Team Rocket every time I have to do something important, like the fossils in Mount Moon or just the whole thing with Lavender Town and Cubone's dead mother. I know that's the story and all, and you need some conflict in the games to make it more exciting while you train your Pokemon up to defeat the 8 gyms that you're only there to do, but taking hours of my time on teleport pads that if you grew up in the 90s didn't have internet to Google a tutorial of how to get out of the dead ends. But will I play the game again? Of course I will, it's Pokemon. I even replayed it on a road trip down to Florida a couple years ago. Oh, and Yellow is just the same game but with Pikachu as your starter. So it's more directed towards anime fans since it came out a year after it premiered, and it has Jesse and James in it. That's cool. Sure, you can get the other starters later, but I like having a Squirtle to beat Brock's ass as fast as I can. So making Pikachu a 4th starter makes it the worst out of the 3. And if you're wondering why I didn't really go into depth in why I liked the game more than I didn't, my answer to that is, what can I really say? The rivalry with Blue is nice since most of the newer games' rivals feel like they're just trying to kiss my ass with how nice they've been. Like, give me a reason to want to battle and kick the hell out of them. Blue is literally the rival people name Asshat because they hate him so much. We need more of that. Please give me a new Blue, Silver, or Paul, at least. Don't give me a friend. Give me a personal nemesis to destroy. Besides that, there's really nothing special about them. Just the regular bare bones rock, paper, scissors battling and catching system that's been used for 26 years in every Pokemon game after that. What I did like about the first few evil teams is that they were actually scary and sort of rip-offs of the actual Mafia. Now the evil teams are just skipping classes and ripping up their homework. Oh, Scarlet and Violet. They're definitely games. I just want to start off by saying this game is beautiful. You have full 360 movement with the camera. Even in battles, you can see the sprawling landscape that makes up this huge map. Pokemon is now an official MMORPG with you being able to play multiplayer with up to 4 other people per session. I'm not sure if it's just me, but with multiplayer comes a lot of lag and slowdown. And if your friend is walking with their Pokemon, it skips frames every time it moves, so it doesn't look good, but I'm fine with it, I guess. They added 107 new Pokemon, making it over 1,000 Pokemon species canon, so the phrase "gotta catch 'em all" is getting more and more impossible. Some good, some bad, but I'll get to those later. They adapted the overworld Pokemon encounters that originally started in Let's Go, but was definitely perfected in Legends Arceus. But I think they forgot to add the whole crouching behind something for stealth and throwing a Pokeball to catch the Pokemon without even going into a battle. That's what made Legends Arceus stand out to me, and it might be one of my favorite Pokemon games out of the series because of it. And it's a shame it's not here. And the character customization is just kind of disappointing. Granted, there's way more options than ever before with the male characters finally allowing for more feminine options like makeup, eyeliner, and longer hair. I can finally make Pokemon's ultimate femme lad. My character's name is Max, and he's gonna be the head of the GSA at the Yuva Academy one day. Only 4 outfits? Off? Yeah, you have the choice of 4 total school uniforms of your game's main fruit. You're stuck with either orange or purple. There's no choice besides what season you're currently living in.
Yeah, I just love living in Canada.
Oh, and this. I know what you're all saying, but Alex, the game just came out. What did you expect? There is gonna be glitches. No, that is a horrible mindset to have. This game, need I remind you, is $80 at launch, and most of the world starts lagging because of the textures slowly loading in from you just walking normally. I'm sorry, did I say $80? Since I went to opening night and pre-ordered it, it costs me $90.35. I think we were all blinded by the excitement that we forgot that the last Pokemon game that came out before Scarlet and Violet was 10 months before this. I didn't notice this until Moist Critical said it in his video.
I'm talking about excusing all of the obvious problems and writing them off as not a big deal when there are a lot of unacceptable, objectively broken things about this game? Why are we okay with a game launching and not really being playable for the most part? Why is that good? And I think this is a combination of a few things. One, the team behind it, Game Freak, being extremely untalented, some of the most untalented developers in the entire business, and two, them not having enough time to fully flesh out their game and their systems. And I think that's pretty obvious when you look at the last Pokemon game that came out, Legends of Arceus, being only 10 months old. They didn't even have a full year before releasing their newest game.
Why are we just accepting a game that's poorly made? Need I remind you, 10 months of development that has this many problems at launch that need to be patched later. You know what other game did that? Cyberpunk 2077. It was the same situation. It feels like a beta test in an official game sometimes. Why are we just licking the bottom of Game Freak's shoes simply because it's Pokemon? And since I made fun of some of the Gen 1 Pokemon, I'm obviously gonna make fun of some of the 107 new Pokemon added to this. There's Minecraft Cubes, a literal flamingo, and they barely changed the name of it. Again, I'm sensing a trend. Dogs that will give a celiac a panic attack, and God Emperor of Dune.
The spice. He knows about the spice.
And they try to play Wiglet off as not being the same Pokemon as Diglett. Sorry Pokemon, but you're just wrong. This is just another instance of the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo just pulling ideas out of a hat. Fine. I do like a lot of them. Graveyard is the goodest of good boys. Flittle looks so much like a Tamagotchi that I named mine after one, and Orthworm is just a hilarious name to me.
The Spice Malone.
And the story is fine, I guess. If you care about it, go play the game. But I'm honestly not here for the story. I'm just here to catch Pokemon and shiny hunt. That's really all I'm here for. To be honest, I really don't care about these people. I legitimately don't even remember their names while filming this. So to end this video, I am in... Remember, I'm not comparing these two games whatsoever. They're completely different games separately. I just wanted to go down memory lane a bit and knock off two games out of my list with one stone, so. And remember to follow Tay on Twitch whenever you get the chance, and also subscribe to this channel for more mediocre content. But before I go, one last question. What would make these games 10 times better? Voice acting.
Christmas